What's up, guys? This is Steve LaJoya. I'll be doing the audio commentary for our cool little class project here. Video for English 239 multimodal composition. Yeah, this is the video that me and Amos and Jessica and Vince ultimately came up with here. And yeah, first off, I just want to say I definitely like the idea of the class. Just the fact that you don't have to sit there and write up a 10-page paper. You can actually mess around with images and videos using Movie Maker and things like that, which I enjoy doing anyway, so it was very fun for me. Yeah, so I was kind of talking over the first couple of significant parts, but I'll kind of touch upon them now. Basically, the first thing was some footage taken by Amos of his philosophy class, in which he kind of, we wanted to show the old way of how academia is run, basically, and the methods of teachers that use traditional things such as a chalkboard or a dry erase board and a marker as opposed to computers. And yeah, and then I kind of showed a little montage of some nice images there of the iPhone, iPod, things like that, which are on the rise not only in society, but now they're starting to be integrated into the classroom, which was one thing we found interesting, and that's kind of where our topic was going, and that's what we wanted to focus on in our video. The idea that Vince originally came up with was sort of the idea of, how does the textbook fit into the classroom now that things such as an iPhone are being utilized, which are a lot easier to carry by students and can hold more information. And then we kind of ran with that idea, and we started to think like, well, how does this affect teachers and the academic system in general, and what are they doing to respond to this sort of thing, to sort of bridge that generational gap in which students are becoming, in a way, more knowledgeable than the professors, at least in terms of certain technologies. So this is Catherine Hales, and this is one of the presenters of the Watson Conference that Amos and Jessica attended, and got a great interview in with her, which you can tell we definitely liked what she had to say a lot because we used a lot of it in the video. But I thought, yeah, she had a lot of very relevant information and useful information that we could apply to our video. And I'm not going to get too much into it, you can see it in the actual video, but she basically talks about what she calls the hyper-attentive versus deep-attentive students. The hyper-attentive would be sort of the modern generation that's used to all these multiple information streams at once and a more visual learning group, versus the deep attentive, which is basically they can sit through a whole novel and not get bored, just kind of tune everything else out, and they're more used to text on a page versus images. And this is Michael Trice. He's the other major presenter that we decided to put in our video, along with Catherine Hales, because we thought he had some very useful information, and it kind of relates to what we're talking about as far as technologies disrupting the traditional system. And he talks about the Tower of Learning at the beginning. He shows that picture up there on the projector, in which basically by that he means like everybody has sort of an established knowledge base, and then as you get more and more advanced, fewer and fewer people have that knowledge until one person sort of reaches the top of the tower. But then he sort of talks about things like flash design, which are being introduced now, and that teachers have to sort of take a step back and say, well, how do we integrate this into our classrooms, and at what level do we decide to start teaching these things? So it's sort of a wake-up call for the academic system to reevaluate their traditional methods and kind of take a step back and say, okay, well, where can we apply these technologies, and how can we use them, and at what grade should we start teaching various aspects like flash design. And then this you see here is sort of my thrown together B-roll that I just kind of put a camera over the screen, showed the different applications of Facebook and things like that, sort of illustrate how some of these programs look, There's Google Docs there. It's basically a sort of a Microsoft Word document, except it's a sort of more of a collaborative thing in which everyone can go online and chat with each other. I actually had a class that we used Google Docs, which I thought was very interesting. It took some getting used to, but it was very helpful in that you can talk to the teacher on there and to other students. You can all write up a document together. So, which is kind of what the video is talking about. It's how technology is sort of introducing a more collaborative style to teaching and learning. And then we got some more Katherine Hayles. She's kind of discussing how the academia is lagging behind, just all these new technologies coming up and being utilized in the classroom. And there's some little bit of B-roll of Wikipedia there.